Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back. Today I have another message for you. And today's message is going to be directly geared towards those of you, including myself. I happen to be one of these kind of people who can be so attuned to other people's perceptions, to really wanting to keep harmony and connection. And so we don't even know it oftentimes, but we end up actually guiding our lives to the insecurities of those who are closest to us, rather than backing ourselves, backing them in their ability to handle the decisions that we make in our most empowering way. And so we're going to dive into this one. So as we're getting set up and you guys are joining, I would absolutely love to hear from you. So please do drop me a comment. Let me know where in the world you are tuning in from and play along at home as per usual. I really want to hear from you guys. I want you to be thinking about, why are you making the decisions in your life that you're making? And when was the last time you started questioning your intentions, your integrity, and basically whether you're making decisions from a place of fear, right? Driven by fear, or actually driven by love. And remember, when we're making decisions based on fears and insecurities, not necessarily leading us in the healthiest direction in our lives. And ultimately, the purpose of all of these messages that I share with you guys is to help you to empower yourself towards living your life in a way that prevents regrets, right? Getting to the end of your life being completely regret-free, totally empowered, and as if you have designed your life in your most fulfilling way, all right? Rather than, like I've mentioned a million times in these messages before, the number one regret of the dying is basically that I wish I had have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. And there's a reason why that has taken the top spot of the regrets that we as human beings engage in our lives, right? So many of us struggle with guiding our own lives in terms of getting that clarity over what is healthiest for us, having the courage to handle conflict, the inevitable conflicts that, you deciding your course of life is going to have in the lives of others, right? Because we're not all the same, right? And so you have to evolve past the childlike kind of tendency that we have to have and we have to develop through, which is look to people who've come before, right? Learn from them, heed their advice and their wisdom. But at some stage we have to go, you know what? I think I became the adult here in my own life. And I also have to realize that, you know what? Nobody is born to make me a fulfilled human being, to make me my absolute best. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what, Vanessa, I'm here to fulfill you entirely. That's what my life is all about, right? We have to realize that nobody and nothing is going to do that for us, and that realization becomes our fuel that gives us the courage to get the clarity over what we want in our lives and to courageously take action in that direction, despite the inevitable challenges and potential conflict that can create with the people who are closest to us. All right. And I feel like this is my life path, right? Like this is the journey. The number one lesson that keeps reoccurring in my own life is the one in which I go, you know what? Why am I deciding to do this? And is it being driven by love, right? And moving me forward towards empowerment? Or is it being driven by fear? And oftentimes the fears that I've had have been connected to the insecurities or blueprint and model of the world of people closest to me. And I've played that path so many times that eventually you got to realize, oh my God, like I keep playing the same old pattern, and it just so happens to be that I'm the common denominator and I'm no longer a child. I'm making my own decisions. Am I going to step up and grow up and be the adult and make the decisions that might be tough at times, but they are ultimately driven by empowerment and love and health? And the healthier you are as an individual, the more aligned authentically you are, the more inspired you are, the more you're designing your life towards fulfillment that is uniquely gauged on what is fulfilling and inspiring towards you, the healthier the relationships that you're going to have, the better you can show up in all the other roles that you play in life. And it is a complete fallacy to think that if you just live to the expectations of those around you, if you make sure that your decisions are, taking into consideration their insecurities and letting that guide your life, you're actually doing yourself and them and humanity a disservice, right? On a really large scale, right? And if you just want to keep it in terms of your relationship, remember, you know when you're sacrificing parts of yourself, and it's not sustainable. I don't believe in sacrifice. I believe in being, your true, full, authentic expression who is totally aligned with what inspires you as an individual, and allowing the space for everybody else that you love and care about to have their own model and version of that, and not to subject others to live in a set of values that might be true for us, but not so true for others. All right. So that's basically what we're talking about. And I feel like I'm going on a rant and I'm going to continue it. So like I said, I'd love to hear from you guys as you're tuning in. Drop me some comments and play along at home. And I can't wait to get to your questions and your words of wisdom after I go on my little rant here. So today we're talking stop adjusting your life to the insecurities of others. And this might take some deep self-reflection, as it has in my own life more recently. And basically, I'd actually realized that what triggered this for me was a realization, like a deeper realization, kind of like the rose-colored glasses had come off my eyes forcibly, right? I didn't intend for that to happen, but particularly with a person who's very close to me in my life, right? Somebody who's known me my entire life, right? And the rose-colored glasses had to come off in order for me to become an adult and not so much the child, right? Shift the dynamic to be, rather than an adult and child dynamic, become an adult-adult relationship, right? And dynamic at play. And I'm still on that journey of creating that right now, because this has been 33 years in the making, right? And so basically it's going to take some time to adjust, and there's more actions that I'm just in the middle of taking and needing to take. But basically the rose-colored glasses that came off gave me a realization that, and a whole new experience, which I'm going to talk into a little bit more, that basically I realized that this person who I had idolized, put on a pedestal, kind of realized how much of me had subconsciously been molding my life in the direction of what this person valued. I realized that this person was very incredibly discouraging of me, right? And I hadn't realized, because I walk around with these rose-colored glasses, seeing the best and, valuing this person and really everybody, right? And seeing all that greatness. And I had to wake up to the disillusionment that I was in, right? And basically, if somebody is very discouraging in your life, I really want you to think about and apply this to your own life right now. The definition of discouraging, right, is causing someone to lose confidence or enthusiasm. All right. It's a very depressing kind of dynamic. And I actually have had this particular person, literally, if you guys know me by now, I'm a very enthusiastic, very expressive kind of person. And I've had this person actually grab my arms mid-expressing what I was really authentically inspired by, grab my arms, hold them to my side and just say, look, I can't deal with your enthusiasm, right? And I just allowed that, right? I just thought, oh, okay, maybe that's my problem, right? And so I've been on this kind of journey of realizing that When you have discouraging people in your life, people who are causing you to lose confidence or enthusiasm towards what authentically inspires you, you better start standing guard at the entrance of your heart. All right, because that is where your authentic inspirations are housed. And if you just let anybody in, and, particularly because you've grown up with these people, they've always been, a positive influence in your life in some ways, and they're somebody who's close to you, oftentimes with a family member or a close acquaintance or friend or whoever it is, or teacher of some sort. You can oftentimes just never question and just assume totally that this person is going to encourage your greatness, even if they love you, right? Because you think, well, they love me, I love them, so of course they're going to encourage my greatness. They want the best for me and all of these sorts of things. But you can't discount the fact that a lot of people are unconscious to the impact and the influence that they're having on the people that are closest to them. And they're stuck in their own little worlds. And so again, it takes you transforming from the child to the adult to take responsibility for how other people are impacting you, right? And don't just assume. No matter what role these people play in your life, don't assume. Really question, who are the people in my life who are currently pretty discouraging, right? So discouraging, causing someone to lose that confidence and enthusiasm. On the flip side of that, we want people who are encouraging, right? So I'm just sharing you, I know these words are not new words, right? I know you're not a second grader who doesn't know what a discouraging or encouraging means, but I just want you to really take a moment to really think deeply into these two words and apply them to your lives, because I promise you it will help you filter out the dynamics that are taking you into the direction of the number one regret of the dying. You're living to their expectations, you're molding your life and adjusting your decisions based on their insecurities and their unique model of the world that is different to yours. I really want you to think about this. So the definition of having an encouraging person in your life is basically someone who is giving you support and confidence. All right. So on one hand, I want you to think about, who are the discouraging people? Who are the people who are causing me to lose confidence and enthusiasm in what authentically inspires me and the decisions that I'm making in my life? And on the flip side, who are the people in my life who are giving me support and confidence to go after my dreams? And I am a really big believer that you just need one person. And obviously you need to be that person for yourself, but I really value our ability to relate to one another, right? Relationships and allowing other people to support you on your journey, right? You want to stay open to that. And I do believe that we can go much further together than we can go alone, but only if the people that you go on the path with are truly encouraging. And I'm not just talking about being encouraging when you follow suit in terms of what they value, in terms of what they think you should do with your life, or what decisions you should make. That's easy to encourage people on that realm. And that doesn't mean that they're the right people to have in your life. You want the kind of people who encourage you to pursue what is authentically inspiring to you, what you feel is healthiest and right for you, all right? Because if you have people in your life who are discouraging you from trusting in your own decisions, then you are walking a very tightrope, right? And it's not a great way down, right? Because if you don't surround yourself with people who don't encourage your decisions, who don't encourage you to be all of who you are, right? And particularly when what is authentically inspiring to you is vastly different to what is authentically inspiring to them. If you don't surround yourself with those people, you actually put yourself in a position where you could really be taken off path. Like basically, you'll stop trusting your own intuitions. You'll stop trusting your own ability to make decisions, and you'll be looking to these outside sources to decide the course of your life for you, and all nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what truly authentically inspires you. That's your job. And if you follow other people's paths, believe me, you will not be fulfilled no matter how well-intentioned you are. And having people who really encourage your truth to come to the surface and support whatever, check in with you going and ask you, would that be really fulfilling for you? Is this decision that you're making being driven by a deep part of you that knows it's healthy, knows it's right, it's loving? Or is your decision being made from a place of fear or insecurity or concern about what other people are going to say about it? That's the kind of people that you want in your life, right? Ones who want to encourage you to be true to what authentically inspires you. And they're not just trying to guide you in the direction of what they think is right. What they think is right is for them. What you know to be right in your heart of hearts is for you. And if you have discouraging people who think there's only one way and it's my way or the highway, you are really in a dangerous sea, right? And so you want to make sure that you are evolving into the adult of your life. You're getting that clarity to design the course of your life, to really re-engage the inner voice, right? Your own intuitions about what feels right to you, and have the courage to align fully with that, all right? So I'm going off on a bit of a rant here because I'm just feeling super empowered by, waking up painfully to see more clearly who in my life is kind of discouraging, and they are impacting me. I've been allowing them to negate my confidence and my enthusiasm in my own authentic inspirations. And in contrast, what it feels like to have some really encouraging people in your life. And I like I said before, it starts with just having one, right? It's about quality over quantity, all right? You just need somebody to kind of sometimes fan that flame for you until you're reignited, right? And then get back on your own path. And it's so empowering to, create that network of really inspired other individuals who are on their own path. They know how to listen to their own intuitions, and they do not force their values or their model of the world onto you. They encourage the truth of what authentically inspires you to come to the surface. They encourage you to question your intentions behind the decisions that you make, and they're not trying to force their way of the world onto you. They're encouraging the truth of you to come out, all right? And if you can have just one of those people in your life, you are set, my friend, absolutely. And if you realize that you don't have one of those people right now, I encourage you to find someone. Find a friend on the same journey. Find a coach. Find some sort of teacher. Go and listen to all the motivational stuff on YouTube, right? Just read some great books that empower you. I really recommend the book by Robert Holden called Lovability as a real starting point and foundational piece to build your own trust and love within yourself, and really make sure that your relationship dynamics are super healthy and you're not falling into fears and insecurities and molding and adjusting your life based on those. All right. So that really is my message for you guys today. I hope that it has inspired you. I hope it has empowered you. I'd love to hear from you like always. So do drop me some comments, whether you're listening live with me now and I get to check in with you guys now, or if you're watching the recording of this later on. And if you do find this message of value, please do share it to anybody in the world who you know can get a good empowerment kick from today's message. All right. So let me check in with you guys. I've got Dorothy and Simon. Loving it. Good to see you, my friend. And Jonathan, great video. Thank you. You're so welcome, my friend. I'm super grateful that this is of value to you. And Jose, good to see you. Hello, Vanessa. How you can tell when people in your life are honest to you and motivate you to achieve the best version of you. I ask this because apparently there are people who walk by your side in the same path, but when you go through a crisis, they disappear, taking you in my own experience. I love it. Jose, I always so appreciate you showing up live and for your questions and sharing of your experiences. You are deeply appreciated, my friend, like so much. So great question. You know what? You're not always going to know if people are, honest with you and encouraging of you and really on your path towards you achieving your greatness, all right? That's why we have to have the trust within ourselves and that's the only place you're going to have the certainty. You have to build the kind of relationship with yourself that can trust in your ability to handle if the people that you thought were supportive of you actually end up ghosting you, right? Not being there for you when you require it. And this is what allows you to open up the opportunity to walk the path with people and, open up to the opportunity for them to support you and go on that journey with you and help you towards your own achievement and vice versa. But also not fall in a huge heap and be thrown off path when that person turns out that they can't actually, they weren't all that they said they were, right? And trust actions over words all day long, right? And but basically it's an opportunity for you to build the trust in your own ability to handle it, even if they show up in a way and prove themselves to not be the trustworthy or honest person who's supporting you on your journey. And if they end up not being that, it's just an opportunity to build that strength within yourself yet again. And when I want to also say that the way people handle crisis, right? Look at the way people treat themselves and make that the thing that you trust in terms of how they're going to treat you and show up for you. Because however we treat ourselves is how we inevitably treat others, all right? And so look to their relationship of themselves and also know it's not, for the normal, everyday, average human being, we're not dealing with crisis every single day, right? So it is a muscle that we must learn to build in terms of how we deal with things, how we deal with the crises. And so if you have somebody close to you in your life who, when a crisis happens, they run for it, right? Like their survival mechanism is flight, right? Then what we need to do is, look at it honestly based on your own experience with this person and give them some leeway. Give human beings a little bit of leeway in terms of how they handle crises. I know in my past self, when I had somebody very, very close to me who I just absolutely adored get very sick with cancer and pass away within a couple of months, I really don't like the way that I handled that situation, but I hadn't built the muscle for it. I hadn't had the experience for it, right? So when I reflect back at that time, I felt like I was too much focused about my own self and the focus on the loss. And I lost an opportunity to really be there and build deeper connection with that person at the end of their life, right? And make it more about them and the connection and how I could show up for them, right? And, because I didn't show up in the way that I would ideally want in a crisis situation, because I hadn't yet built the muscle, right? It was one of my first experiences with something like that. I have to have compassion for myself for that, and then I have to use that experience to paint a new picture as to how I would want to show up in the future come another situation like that and grow from it. So no matter where you're meeting somebody, sometimes people just don't know how to cope with their own stuff, right? They make it more about themselves than they can make it about you. And we have to give people leeway for that. And I'm a big believer in looking at the dynamics that we create with people, right? Having somebody leave us and disappear in a time of crisis, I'll take a meta perspective on that, take a step back and go, what is the opportunity for growth here that could have been taken away and not been made available to me had they showed up in the exact way that I would have wanted them to. And oftentimes it means that you are being given an opportunity to grow in your own ability to show up in the ways that you felt like you wanted them to that were missing. All right. And so I'm not saying just forgive and forget for everybody and, you know, people can treat you however they're going to treat you. I believe in having compassion, finding the times when you might do that, and trusting that people can be on a growth journey and communicating with them about that, about what wasn't okay, and if they're willing to go on that growth journey with you moving forward, right? So there's lots that we could go on with that, but I hope that what I shared with you then is of value to you, Jose. Like I said, I always appreciate your questions, my friend, and your comments and your shared experiences like I do from each and every one of you guys. So that is my message for you today. Hope it's been of value. And Jose, thank you, Vanessa, for your always assertive enlightenment. Oh, I love that. Thank you for that compliment, Jose, and grateful that that was of value to you, my friend. Awesome. So always leaving you with a message to go out there and honor your authenticity, right? Don't let other people sway what's authentically inspiring to you. And actually, before I get to that message, I just saw a comment from Dorothy. Thank you, Van, for today's encouragement. Love always watching you from the Philippines. You always are encouraging me to go on with life no matter how hard it is. Oh, Dorothy, that touches my heart, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. And I'm so grateful that these messages are of value to you. And love that you come from the Philippines. That's so, so cool. I love knowing where you guys are tuning in from around the globe. And thank you so much for contributing to the conversation today. Super appreciated. So go out there, honor your authenticity, deepen your intimacy, go deep with people, share more of who you are, and let that be the filter that goes, you know, you're coming into my life because you're encouraging of who I am and helping me to develop a deeper sense of trust in my own decisions, right? Instead of the ones who are discouraging you and taking you off path, you've got to stand guard at the entrance of your heart where your deepest, most authentically inspired desires for your life and how you want to design your life are kept. All right, stand guard and make sure that you've got a great filter, and that's always going to be the best filter is your authenticity. So get that clarity over who you are, what you want, and going after it with courage. And lastly, contribute your unique gifts. So you've got to know what your gifts are. You've got them, my friend. This is the work that I do, is help people identify on a cognitive level through the neuroscience of personality what your greatest strengths are based on your wiring, and align your life with that, because that is what puts you on the most fulfilling pathway that is absolutely uniquely tailored to you. All right. So if you would ever love any guidance on that, or whatever, or you just want to chat and see how I could support you, definitely reach out. And if you haven't downloaded my free guide on the 7 proven steps to maximize your self-belief, I definitely invite you to do that. If you want me to drop you the link, just let me know and I'll put it in the comments. And at the end of that guide, I have set up some opportunities to get on a free call with me. So I can help you personally dive into a little piece of your world. So if you'd like access to that, make sure you download the free guide and book in your time on my calendar with the link that is in that guide. All right, that is it from me today, guys. So much love for each and every one of you. And thanks again for joining. And please do share this message if it is of value. All right, see you guys soon.